Hello, my name is Tatum Kaiser, and I am a senior at Willow Canyon High School in Surprise, Arizona, and I am applying for the Grand Canyon Servant Scholarship. In response to the question, who do you say Jesus Christ is? I think that answer kind of depends upon who you're asking. Jesus asked his disciples, who do you say I am? And Peter responded with, well, you are Christ. But and that's how I would respond, but as a 17-year-old, I have to think that, what does that mean? I grew up in a family where my father has always been a pastor. My mother's always been involved in the church. Her father was a pastor, and his father was a pastor. So religion has been a essential and integral part in our family dynamic and how I was raised. But I've always had a hard time defining who I thought God was and who I thought Jesus was, aside from my parents' faith. And it wasn't until recently that that really started to begin to click. It was the summer after my freshman year that I was invited to do missions work in the country of India. And it was there that the gears started to begin to turn. I remember I walked into a room with 20 people crowded into it, the size of about my bathroom. And these people were pouring their hearts out to a God that I had no relationship with. And it's then that it struck me that there is something so much more to life than just to live. And so I returned home to the States, and I delved into everything I possibly could. I got involved in my school's theater program, and I was elected, troop president. I started leading worship in the main sanctuary as well as in Sunday school. I got involved with a nonprofit organization that my church started called Revive. And then I started doing community service through theater, performing at retirement homes, canned food drives. And it was there that I found Jesus. I found Jesus in music and conversation and in laughter, and knowing that that's where I find Jesus, I can now define him in that. And I think that God is so much more, and that Jesus is so much more than this greater entity in heaven waiting for me to join him, but that he's present and here, and everything good in the world is just an embodiment of who he is. And that is how I define him, through everything great that is here present. And so Peter was absolutely right when he responded with, well, you are Christ. But I think that there's so much more than, well, you are just Christ. And in response to the second question, how does one find Jesus? I think that man is endowed with a sense to know his creator, that there's something within us that strives to know who we were made from, who we belong to. And but on the other side of that, I think that Jesus strives to know us, and that he loves us so unrelentlessly and seeks for us so unrelentlessly, that if we were just to open the door a little bit, that we would be overwhelmed with what we would find. And I think that Jesus and God honors us seeking him. And I think that it's great. Can we seek God? Absolutely. But I think that at the end of the day, there's a greater truth that Jesus is seeking for us. And so that's really where I am with my faith right now. Thank you for your consideration. And again, my name is Tatum Kaiser.